Hi everyone and welcome back to the Upside Down. Today, I have 3 movies to review to you. So that's 3 movies, 1 video, 2 I liked, 1 I didn't. Let's see which one I didn't like. First up is Soul. Soul is Disney Pixar's newest release, and it is absolutely breathtaking. The animation here is amazing. Pixar always does a good job with this animation, but I think this might be top tier. I really loved the voice work here. Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey do a very good job voicing their respective characters and making you feel the emotions they're trying to convey. It was a very fun and emotional at the same time ride that I was happy to be on. It has some heavy subject matter though. It's not so much aimed at kids as you might expect a Disney Pixar movie to be. Not that it's not a kid movie, it's appropriate, but it deals with death, the afterlife, and what life was, or what the soul was going through before it even was born. So you really get to see that story from, beginning to end, and death can be a big thing, obviously, that a lot of people have a hard time dealing with. So I really liked that mature subject matter that it put out into the world, and maybe made a Pixar movie that more adults will enjoy. The story and the message here is super important. It's all about living your best life while you're alive, obviously. Do what you love. Don't worry about what other people think you should be doing. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Just do what you want to do. Find your passion. Study different passions. Do anything, you really can do a lot if you put your mind to it. This is the only life we have. Start to live it. I really thought, even though it's not a Christmas movie, I thought Christmas was the perfect day to drop this on Disney Plus because it gives the feels. It is happy. It can be emotional. It's fun, funny, sad. It's all of this stuff mixed in one, all this stuff that we're expecting from Disney Pixar at this time. So I think that Christmas Day was definitely a perfect day for it to release. I absolutely loved this film. It definitely would go in my top 10 of the year. I don't think I'm going to make a top 10 this year or top 20 or any of that. Or most anticipated list, I'm not going to make any of that this year, but I hope to really get into that trend, the end of this year, coming up into the 2022. But this would definitely be my top 10 of 2020. I loved this movie. I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. So what's the next movie? The next movie on my list to talk about is Promising Young Woman. Promising Young Woman is excellently directed and written by Emerald Fennell. This is her feature film directorial debut, and it's her first time writing a feature film. She's had some work in TV shows such as the show Killing Eve, but this is her first feature film, and I thought she hit it out of the park. She translated her vision to film with very good looking scenery, very bright and vivid colors. This film looks like it might be happier than the subject matter that it is portraying. The subject matter is heavy, it really is. It's something that needs to be talked about though. It really does. This should be in the conversation. There are guys out there that do this stuff, and there's all types of people out there that say this kind of stuff and do this kind of stuff and act like women are like prey, or pieces of meat or candy, which I'd say candy because a lot of bright and vivid colors in this film. But anyway, and that's not right. So I hope this movie and other movies that are like this, or that are revolving around this kind of subject matter, spark a conversation. This stuff needs to change. Now let me get to the performances because they are outstanding here. Carey Mulligan puts on a extraordinary performance in this movie. Great stuff. This is one of her best performances I've ever seen her in. I haven't seen her in much though. But she's great here. You don't know what she's always thinking or planning. You know, you really don't. And I think that just says so much about her performance. Bo Burnham also does a really good job in this film. And these two have great chemistry together. I really loved when their relationship was flourishing. Now, even with this subject matter, this movie is actually pretty funny at times. It really balances the light and funny aspects and the serious aspects, the emotional aspects. It really balances all those together very well. And it really added to my overall enjoyment of this movie. Now, the ending, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about, or not heard what happened, and I'm not going to spoil it. But you've heard that it's controversial. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Some people are just on it. Some people, it ruined the movie for them. I'm happy to say that I'm on board with this ending. Yes, there's a few little twists and turns going throughout the last act. One, I was like, but I think that it made up for it in the end. So yes, I definitely recommend this film, most definitely. It's in theaters now. If you feel comfortable and if it's safe where you are, go to theaters, see this movie, or wait for it to go on streaming and physical media. It is an excellent, excellent movie. I would give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Alright, so lastly, I have Wonder Woman 1984. So, Wonder Woman 1984. So you're probably thinking, if I thought it was why do I have a tiara on? Why do I have the popcorn bucket? Why do I have all this stuff behind me? Well, one, I love the character. So there's that. And I love the first movie. But this one I just couldn't get behind. And this I just got at AMC. Because I collect popcorn buckets. And I still love the character. So, Patty Jenkins returns as the director here. Gal Gadot and Chris Pine return as Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, respectively. Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal are the antagonists to Diana's protagonists as Barbara Mineira and Maxwell Lord. So now that I got the positives out of the way, let's get to the negatives. I'm just kidding. I mean, yes, mostly those are my positives. There is some good in this film. There is. I just think it is thrown out by this convoluted plot that doesn't always make sense, with this wishing stone where the rules change back and forth whenever it's convenient for the plot. And but yeah, that's the big flaw, and that's a big flaw because that's the plot, that's the reasoning, that's behind these villains, that's what happens, you know. So needless to say, I was very let down by this sequel. But I will say, Gal Gadot and Chris Pine do amazing again. They have spectacular chemistry on screen. They really do. With that said, though, I kind of wish Chris Pine did not come back, or at least Steve Trevor, did not come back like this. Or really in any way. I just thought the ending to Wonder Woman, his ending was so good. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Chris Pine, and I did want to see him again. But at the same time, I just don't know if it was worth it for this character. I would have rather than left it at Wonder Woman. But there is some good with him in here. There's great chemistry, like I said, with Gal Gadot. Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal are also fantastic here. A lot of people were skeptical about Wiig because her forte is mostly comedy. But I thought she hit it out of the park here. I thought she was really good in this with what she was given. However, I do think that Barbara should have had her own movie, or own Wonder Woman movie, like she was the main villain of that movie. I think that maybe they could have introduced her in Wonder Woman 1984, but I think that maybe the third one could have focused on her as the main villain and only villain, pretty much. But right now, I'm going to have to give this one a 6 out of 10. It was a big disappointment. But definitely, I recommend Promising Young Woman and Soul. Both of those would be in my top 10 of this year. Wonder Woman 1984, I don't know where that would be. It would not be in my top 10, but I don't think it would be in my bottom 10 either, but again, 2020 didn't have much, so I don't know. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am now on Letterboxd. I was very excited to be on Letterboxd. I was waiting until the first of the year so I could kind of start fresh from the beginning of a year. Go check me out on Letterboxd, the Upside Dan 93. More videos over here and down here and all over here. And make sure you like this video, comment. Come on, give me a comment down there. Please share my channel and my videos with your family and friends. Hit that notification bell, subscribe, and come to the Upside Dan.